Hello again and welcome back to my top 15 games of all time. Pusha, pusha, pusha! Let's go. Number 9! Master of Orion 2! Oh my god, what a great game. Master of Orion 2. I used to play Master of Orion 2 in Webster with our family friend's son and my brother. And let me tell you, who the hell wouldn't pick the Cylons? My god, like, why would you pick any other race? Ridiculous. But I've actually done a post on this one too. Ha! So, moving on. But, Master of Orion 3, what an abomination. Oh my god. Whew. Number 8. Legends of Kyrandia. Fairies and Fables, I believe is what it was called. Wow. What an old game. Jesus Christ. It's probably the oldest game on my list and one of my favorites. I beat it at least once a year. God, this was one of those point and click adventures, you know? Do you remember those? I miss those. You know, these, and, yeah, the first Legends of Kyrandia. The second one was also good, a bit silly. And by a bit silly, I mean, and then the third one, wow, don't touch that. Don't touch it. It's awful. I haven't even played it. Anyway, Legends of Kyrandia offered probably one of the best villains I've ever seen in a computer game. He was basically, essentially, the Joker in, you know, a fantasy world, but amazing. Love that game. Malcolm the Jester. Love that game, yeah. And Brandon. All his silly comments. Oh no! Pitch! Good luck, Mr. Bush. You'll need it in this town. I declare sandals, the royal footwear of Kyrandia. Sandal jokes. Sandal jokes. Coming in at number 7 is a secret. It's a secret. The Tomb Raider series. The first, second, and third Tomb Raiders, because they were all the same engine with basically the same graphics. And most definitely the same gameplay. You know, some might question why I put this so far on my list for being such a not the best series, but quite frankly, I found the whole gameplay very meditative. You know, doing the same things over and over again, you know, pulling boulders, you know, not having to worry about aiming. You know, it's just, you know, camping and waiting for them to go back, and, you know, it's just a very simple gameplay. Not much of a challenge either. The biggest challenge comes from the jumping puzzle, and quite frankly, if you know how to do it, you know, I mean, it's not hard. It's just a question of doing it. So, Tomb Raider. Of course, this might have to do with the fact that I've had a boner for Lara Croft for years. No, actually, not so much anymore, but, let me tell you, archives upon archives of pictures. Coming in at number 6 is Time Lapse, which was an adventure puzzle game, and I can't find any movies on it on YouTube, so there's no music, and since I can't find any, then you probably can't find any, but the music was actually the main appeal for it, for me. That and the cultures. I love the Mayan level, and I also liked the Easter Island level. The music was great. This is one of the few items on my list that I actually haven't beaten. And the reason why I haven't beaten Time Lapse is because you go through all the game, you go through levels based on Easter Island, Egypt, Maya, and Native Americans. And then you go to Atlantis, which is such a cliche. Such a fucking cliche, you know, it's all, of course, the thing connecting all these cultures is Atlantis, not intelligence or creativity or ingenuity, but Atlantis, you know, and, you know, it's the ugliest level you've ever seen in your entire fucking life. You go there and you're like, I don't want to play the game anymore, so I haven't beaten it yet. I'm not going to, because that level's ugly. It's fugly. Fug ugly. I would include music for number 5, Unreal, but the music for that game is terrible, so I won't. Unreal was my first 3D experience. Can you believe that? My first 3D experience. And what an experience it was. To this day, I still have yet to play a 3D game with such massive structures, you know, where like you look up at a mountain and you're looking up and you're looking up and you're looking up and you're like, whoa, that's a legitimately big mountain, you know? And it was amazing. Amazing. Not to mention the cool enemies, the cool sound effects. I play that game for like, I get so immersed when I play that game that when I do play it, it's sort of like a vacation, except you have to kill monsters. So, it's not really like a vacation, but it's close. It's a nice little, you know, escapist adventure. Love that game. Love that game. Even though it's buggy. And, you know, it spawned Unreal Tournament. And the Unreal Engine and all that stuff. Unreal. Very good game. Except talk about a crappy name for an enemy. Skaarj? Is that Scar or Scarge? What the fuck? What the fuck? What? Stupid name. It's dumb. Number 4! Lo 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 Starship Titanic. Douglas Adams' Starship Titanic. The only game I've ever played based on a novel. And a bad novel, too. Have you read Douglas Adams' Starship Titanic? It's not that great. But, interestingly enough, it's not a very great game either. But, they designed the shit out of that game. The design in that game is absolutely flawless. From the music, to the atmosphere, to the characters, to the voice acting. Everything was completely well thought out, except the actual game itself, because the quests, the missions, all the beating that game is a bitch. It's not a fun experience, but just walking around and looking at everything, you know, they've got this amazing, it's art. You're playing the game, and you are playing art. And, you know, it's very rare that games offer that. There are a couple games that do. Obsidian is one of them. And, yeah, it rocked my socks. I am still being influenced by that game in my own art. It's just an amazing, amazing game. And what's really weird is that almost everyone who plays it has this small crush for Craig, the Bellbot, even though he's like a lampshade. But he's got a hot voice and he's got a good personality, so it's like, he's kind of cute for a lampshade robot. It's weird. And what other game can say that Terry Jones was a voice actor for it? Holy shit. Like, when you play that game, you're like, is that Terry Jones? And then you look at the credits and it's like, oh my god, Terry Jones! It's amazing. Number 3. Number 3. Number 3 is the Marathon series. Wow. I've never had a game affect my sense of style, and yet the logo of Marathon 3, or no, the Marathon series, can be found on multiple articles of my clothing. Go figure. You know, I'm always making, I'm not always, but I'm pretty often making references to this game. And people just look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And you know, I don't know the answer to that question, but when I do have the question of what awesome science fiction shooting game can I play, Marathon is usually the answer. Holy shit. There's nothing, I've also dedicated posts to this too, so you can look at those. But in my opinion, Marathon 1 and 2 are pretty flawless. So there you go. Marathon Infinity. Wow, what a piece of shit. Holy God. Holy God. What a piece of shit. Not fun. Not fun. Oh, and Marathon Rubicon and all those other fucking fan things are impossible to play. It's annoying. It's annoying. Because there's a lot of hype. You know, I'm like, oh wow, a new Marathon game. And then I play and it's like, oh, it's terrible. And at number 2. Myst. You can't touch Myst. You can't touch Myst. Do you realize how many things that Myst started that was such a breakthrough game? Like, seriously, that was like the gaming industry's wet dream. Like, holy shit, that was such a fucking good game. Don't get me, I'm not gonna talk about it. And my #1 game of all time will be saved for another video, because I cannot talk about my number one favorite game of all time for only a minute. I can't do it. It'd be like a slap in the face to that game. I can't, literally can't do it. It's going to get its own 10 minutes. Yeah.